I want to see all faces. You move little. Hey. Yes, very good. Yeah. Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kaviviritam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Vrida Janaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, your gospel is like nectar and bliss showered upon the pain-stricken lives of suffering humanity. It dispels all sins and misdeeds, bringing spiritual welfare to light. Spiritual beauty and prosperity and grace flow through those who listen to your holy message. Truly generous are those who preach and share the nectar of your message with suffering humanity. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are back to our reading of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and we are reading the entry of Thursday, August 24, 1882 on page 112, 112. Sri Ramakrishna was talking to Hazra on the long northeast veranda of his room. When A.M. arrived, he saluted the master reverently. Master, I should like to visit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar a few times more. The painter first draws the general outlines and then puts in details and colors at his leisure. The molder first makes the image out of clay, then plasters it, then gives it a coat of whitewash, and last of all paints it with a brush. All these steps must be taken successively. Vidyasagar is fully ready, but his inner stuff is covered with a thin layer. He is now engaged in doing good works, but he does not know what is within himself. Gold is hidden within him. God dwells within us. If one knows that, one feels like giving up all activities and praying to God with a yearning soul. So the master talked with him, now standing, now pacing up and down the long veranda. So we get a view, Sri Ramakrishna. We can take our mind, if you have any photograph or you have visited. Who have visited here? Devotee, you didn't go? No? Yes, the hand? Okay. So you can imagine that long veranda, and there is Hazra is sitting northeast veranda. And so M came there. Just imagine a scene. M came there, M saluted. And you are also present. You are following them, no? You are also present. Your presence, this is called Lila Dhyanam, the meditation on the divine sport. It purifies our heart. That because it is a God living and moving, and you are also moving with him. And then he said, Ramakrishna started passing back and forth, sometimes standing, sometimes pausing, sometimes moving. But he's saying, what he's saying? That I should like to visit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar a few times more. Vidyasagar didn't come to Ramakrishna. God comes to us. We cannot go to God, but God comes to us, unasked for. We don't understand that. In our life, all of us will be agreeing with me that God came in our life at a certain point, under certain circumstances, and that is His grace upon us. And then God is gracious. He says, first time he met Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, such a learned person, such an educated person, such a generous person, such a noble-hearted one, very rare of the quality he had. And that's why he's drawn. The Lord God himself is drawn to him, towards him. And then he came. And what? He didn't allow much. Vidyasagar, in the ocean of Vidya, Vidya means knowledge, wisdom. His name is Vidyasagar, but he didn't speak. As Ramakrishna approached, we read the last chapter, and then Sri Ramakrishna took the position and putting one question, and he started answering all these things. And Ramakrishna recognized that there is so much potential. Potential to him is God realization. He does not count any other quality as important other than God realization first. This is for realize God first by any way, any means, no? By, as you said, we say normally, by hook or by crook. Realize God first. So that was Sri Ramakrishna's message. So we find that Sri Ramakrishna talked to each and Vidyasagar and went into Samadhi several times. He never saw that what is called Samadhi. He have learned in the scripture, but to see a person in Samadhi, motionless, and merged into that absolute consciousness, what will be the atmosphere, what will be his feature, how his face will shine forth, he has no idea. And he saw that, and that was a great transformation. And he was being awed with reverence, and more and more and more. And then even God invited him, last on all the discussion when coming out at night, 9 o'clock or so, the Vidyasagar came with a kerosene lantern to show him the path, and then up to the carriage. And when he is thinking, and he said, come to Dakshineshwar. Then he said, of course I will go, you have come, shall I not go? It is a courtesy call and courtesy response. But Sri Ramakrishna is saying, I need to do some work on Vidyasagar. As a painting is done, outline is drawn first, a sketch, and then with light, some color, and then with the brush strokes, finishing them. So one stroke has been done. A sketch has been created in the mind. What is life's goal? Not be selfish, be unselfish. That is the greater goal. But unselfishness is not enough. There are many good people who are charitable people, but they are not attained to the peace what they want. There is another step to go. Transcend even that good quality of charity. Who will do charity to whom? Question will come. Who helps whom? God needs your help. A point will come. You will be able to keep your mind in that consciousness. Who am I? It's God's will. If He wants to get me to do something, He will do it. I need not have to take any extra energy to do something, to change the world. It is His business. That surrender comes. That's a higher state. So, Ramakrishna sometimes here discouraging all the activities of social work, uplift of the people, or doing something, helping someone, and thinking of the other's benefit. No? That's a good quality. But don't end your journey there. Doing good to others is not the goal. But if you know that doing good to others, you do good to yourself, then it is meaningful. And then what you do? Then transcend that also, doing good. Who will do good if I see God everywhere? So sometimes comes a question, will God help another God? God is God everywhere. So who is to help whom to help? It is no question of help, it is me. That's Vedanta comes, the practical Vedanta. But Sri Ramakrishna's this teaching have created little confusion in the minds of even the Ramakrishna's disciples. When Ramakrishna passed away and Swami Vivekananda started this Ramakrishna mission, this question came. Are Sri Ramakrishna is saying, give up all activities, only sit, do meditation, prayer, realize God, cry for God, weep for God, give up everything. And now what Ramakrishna mission is doing? Forget your meditation, serve God. Be unselfish, no? So it is a contradiction of, apparent contradiction, that is Ramakrishna is teaching something else and Vivekananda is teaching something else. So this is a big philosophical problem in the practices. But it is not, there is no such conflict. It is, the question is that Swami Vivekananda is teaching us how to serve the world from a top standpoint of God. You are serving God only. You are blessed that you are serving God. As you serve in your meditation, you are meditating to please God. So the same way you please God in the human form. And that's not to see as human, but divine. So, what Sri Ramakrishna is saying here, that Vidyasagar, one stroke has been done, a sketch has been created, now another 2-3 visits will change him totally. His total internal understanding will totally change. It is not charity, it is not doing good to others, but it is serving others. In that sense, it is doing puja every day. Whatever we do in our day-to-day life, it is a direct worship of God. As if Ramakrishna is here, suppose here, think, Christ is here, and you want to serve, what will you feel? Will you do then some charity and then come here? Or you will serve him? Similarly, who you are seeing as human being, it is Christ, it is Christ, it is Christ, or it is Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna. Then you serve. That is direct service. So that is the Vedanta idea. That's why Ramakrishna Mission's idea is not a social work. It is not niskama karma. It stands in a very high flight. We have to understand that this philosophy what Swami Vivekananda gave, in tune with Ramakrishna, is directly you are serving God. From morning till what you do, just think, what did you do? Everything went to serve God and God and God. If you don't keep that attitude, it is a work. And work has always its friction. Work has its failures and frustrations. Work can give you some prestige, name, fame, it's good. Even good job, good work may be criticized, that's also there. So, it is not work, it is worship. Swami Vivekananda's beautiful formula, work and worship. At the beginning, work and worship as we do, morning meditation, noon meditation. Noon no one comes, but noon meditation, and evening meditation, and then midnight meditation, and in between work. Work and worship. People complain, I don't get any time because I am so much busy with my work. Then you are doing work, but it's not work. Swamiji gives the idea, work as worship. Start there. You didn't do any work. You worshipped God as if you worshipped God through your cooking, through your cleaning, to your lecture, to your talk, to your office work, computer work, whatever you did, you are serving as if you are worshipping with a flower. Pujari does the worship with a flower in hand. You do it with your computer. Computer is your flower. You do your music with the music tool. That is your offering. So whatever we do, Anything is done. You're driving, the car is the tool. And reaching the destination is offering a flower to God. As if it is worship. Second stage. Third stage and highest stage is work is worship. No slightest distinction between these two. So that is the idea. Yes?
So I've always had this question ever since I understood Vedanta, that the mission in India, they do a lot of service to people with famine, with hospitals and educational, so much service to people. But we don't do that in the United States. That's what I don't understand. What's the difference?
Yeah. Oh, that was different because serving God is the question, is it not? When Swami Vivekananda came, what is the condition of India? It was under British rule. It was a poor country, half-naked people, without any education, no women education, plague, famine, devastated situation. God in the human form needs what service? School, hospital, treatment, relief. All this is that is the need of Narayan, service of Narayan there. Here the Narayan, they are affluent. When today's condition, forget that, when Swami Vivekananda came, this country is a top country in the world. Highly educated people, they have an intellectual understanding, they are done with physical comforts are good. In India, you cannot think of hot water in our monastery. I didn't find any hot water when I joined. Even I came back in this country, I didn't know to have hot water. It is only for VIP. Swamis can, at least who are old sadhus, some geyser, we call geyser, electric geyser, to get a faucet water. We cannot think it cold water, you'll have to take a shower. Even monasteries, of course sadhus should do that, but very few people could have all this. But here, people are well fed, have good education, they are not starvation, question is not there, education is there. So now there is a field, these people are seeking for something, what else is needed. What money, wealth, pleasure, comfort, all are here. But people are still starvation of some peace, how to get that peace. So there is the criterion, that's why Swami Vivekananda said, India does not need any religion. India really is flooded with religion, they need food. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, I want to raise fund to start a school so that they get education. The ladies can get education and self-support system so that they can earn some money and feed themselves and their children. So need is the question. You are serving God in both the places. Here Vedanta is the fertile place because they are saturated with the needs of the day-to-day. They need not have to think for their hunger. They need not have to think of their where to stay in cold, whether there is water, whether there is famine, whether there is disease to cure. But here perfect arrangement was there. So they are fit to think of something. So no, a hungry stomach cannot think of God. You need to have minimum comforts of life so that you are not to bother about those things, then you can think. So that's why Swamiji, same Swami Vivekananda spoke high Vedanta in this country, and going back there, he instituted those philosophies. It is service of God in human form, whatever the need is there. So that's why the difference is there. But now, probably, in the West, the time has come to start such activities. Suppose the homeless people are there, so many children are there who need ethical and moral education to give to them so that they can become self-reliant, not individualistic in the sense, in the rough sense of individualism, ego and pride, and not knowing anything, not listening to anyone. That is in freedom. Freedom is not license. But freedom, understand what is called freedom. So that needs some types of education to be started. And the time has come. Probably next generation they will start certain things according to the need. It's a question of if a hungry person, you give say, the example, a hungry person he is not eaten for whole day and he is so much wanting some food. You bring a Vedanta book and say, hey, Brahman is real, Atman is real, this is all Maya. What will happen to that person? And who is already having comforts of life, and you tell him, okay, I give you this rice and dal. I mean, rice and dal is important in India for the poor people. And we have had much better food. Who cares for rice and dal now? So this is the question, what to give? That's called sattiko dan. Dan means gift. We should know to give, whom to give and what to give, what time. That's called sattiko. If I am hungry, give me food. That's your best gift. If I have no clothing, give me a good cloth. That will be your best gift. You can give me a good, nice-looking hat, but that will not stop my needs. So that's why to serve God according to, that is the way to do the work. So now, this very principle, what Ramakrishna is saying, not to misunderstand with Swami Vivekananda any conflict. Work and worship we do. That's why our whole day, we always say, oh my God, I don't get to do Japa 108. Where can I get time? In the morning I get up and I have to run. Huh? We complain that. No. That is also your worship. Whatever you are given the responsibility or you are entitled to do it with proper spirit. Spirit, how you work is not the question. What is your mental attitude towards that work? So this transformation will be, everything will be worship. Work and worship, two things are totally separate. One is secular, one is spiritual. I go to church only once a week. I am spiritual that time, and whole week I am non-spiritual. No, this is not. How can we bridge this gap? Everything spiritual. How can I tune myself into that consciousness? You are doing some, preparing for the court case. You said that's service to God, like a flower. Someone preparing a garland with a flower for the Lord. I am preparing with my notes and arguments and this and that, an offering to God. So work then as worship, and work will be a transformed situation. Work will be is worship. Work is worship. So no distinction between these two. And that point, we have to adapt that point. So whatever I am doing now, it is all service to God. So he says, Vidyasagar is doing, thinking, I am a good-hearted person. I feel for the sufferings of others, and you people need it. I am doing some charity. It is a work, good work, noble work. No. You have to think, this is your service to God, and with this service, you are connecting with, tuning yourself with the divine in every moment of your journey. So this is all spiritual, no secular. So Vidyasagar is to be raised to that lift. So he is considering that. That's why I need to meet him once or twice more so that he understands what is the goal. The gold, mine of gold is within, only he does not know it. How to know it? To make him aware of that. And he did that with Keshav Sen. Keshav Sen, they are all worshipping in one way, and Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna came as a fulfillment of all spiritual teachers, all spiritual people, spiritual Kabir-Panthi people used to come. He used to add with them that spirit, how to worship, how to pray, how to do. So that is so the master was talking with this, saying that like a Ishwar Chandra has a few times more I need to go. Like a painter first draws the general outline, then puts in the details of the colors at his leisure. No? So the molder, who prepared the mold of Makali, Durga, Shiva, etc., makes an image out of clay and then plasters it, then gives it a coat of whitewash, and last of all, paints it with brass. And Ramakrishna was a great painter, so he is now talking about that this art, the language of art. All the steps must be taken successively. So, for Vidyasagar is fully ready. Sri Ramakrishna is so confident. Vidyasagar is fully ready for God realization. But his inner staff, just the Atman, the consciousness, the awareness inside, that is covered with a thin layer, not a heavy layer of ignorance is there. He has to work hard. Only a thin layer. Like we go to, after shower you stand before the mirror, sometimes it becomes hazy, because a thin layer of film, so covers, and you don't see your face. So as if he is in that state, little touch, and it will be a wonderful transformation in Ishwar Chandra. He is now engaged in doing good works, but he does not know what is within himself. He will stop automatically. Outside work, he will see it as a God's play. No? As you move inward, you will understand that you are nothing. It is God is doing everything. Ramakrishna said in many places, many mystic poets have said that nothing happens without the will of God. That's why he said, thy will be done. So this is real. But I don't understand that because I am not clear on that point. So Sri Ramakrishna is trying to bring out that gap between the human and spiritual. He is now engaged in good works, but he does not know what is within himself. God is hidden within him. God dwells within us. If one knows that, one feels like giving up all activities. That is, they feel the attraction. Attachment, no? When really mind becomes so clean and pure, mind moves towards the God and he cannot think of anything. As Ramakrishna happened, when he was totally merged into God consciousness, his outward activities dropped. Ramakrishna gave the example of a lady being married in a home, and the mother-in-law puts so much activity on that daughter-in-law. But when she conceives a baby, her activity reduces. Ultimately, the baby becomes the goal. So here is the God. God is the baby. When it becomes tangible, and then whole day they spend their time with that baby. That is the divine within. So he forgets the whole world. And Ramakrishna, after this, what work he was doing? He was doing nothing. In these days of, say, 1882, August, what we are reading, he is day and night thinking of God, talking about God, and no other job. And how he will be maintaining his expenses? Mathur Babu allowed that pension. It's a pension, so that his needs are satisfied. God provides. He need not have to think of anything. So this is the surrendering to God. It happens spontaneous, and the world drops from them. But again, then what about this mission activity, Vivekananda's work? That's again confusion. If everything drops, then why Vivekananda is running here and there? Yes, when once you go into that state and then comes back, you come back, then you work for God. God will make you an instrument, and He will do whatever way He wants. He may be very active. Some sadhus may be very active. In our order we see. Some don't move anywhere, sit and stay in Vrindavan or in Benares or in certain place, just day and night meditating. That also, some retired sadhus go. Some sadhus don't take any retirement. They're running here and there and there. Look at Sridharananda Swami in our the Australian center. He's still giving talks. His body is up to this far is not functional, but his brain is dedicated to God consciousness. he is giving the same. So activity, it's a different level, coming from another level. God makes them to do work. And what they do as the God wants. But that is not, they don't think they are doing work. I think I gave a lecture. I have to prepare my notes. I am doing this, I have no time, because it is a work for me. But who realizes God, he need not have to take any note or any reference. What he speaks, it will be Upanishad, it will be Gita. Ramakrishna, this book, no? He is matching which Gita he is quoting, which Upanishad he is quoting. He is automatic, what is coming out, that is Gita, that is Upanishad, that is the scriptures, no? So that becomes, you become the instrument in that, and Ramakrishna said the flow of spiritual thoughts comes spontaneously. That means the infinite source of knowledge, Mother, is a Ma Ras Teledan. The Divine Mother pushes all the wisdom and knowledge through your mouth. You will not know what you have said even. And that's why Master must say, sometimes says, Swami, sir, you said all this. Well, what did I say that time? And he is listening to his own conversation as it were, as if somebody has said very good words. Swami, who? Swami Shivananda. Swami Shivananda Maharaj, Ramakrishna's disciple, and he is the president. So in one meeting, he, instead of reading himself, his message has been read by somebody. And then, listening to that, he is clapping to himself. He's clapping to his own talk. They said, Swami, what? Well, bah, it's very good. Yes. This talk is very good. He is praising himself, but he has no identity. That is his own work. He's thinking, as we praise, okay, your talk is very good. Now, we clap our hands. Because his ego is totally gone. So they work by God's will. Master, a little spiritual discipline is necessary in order to know what lies within. A little? I think a little for Vidyasagar, because he has done so much work. His mind is so much pure. Only a thin layer is making a sharp distinction. No? But that's a little work. Little what work? What work you will do? Ramakrishna continues. Is it necessary to practice discipline all through the life? You are saying to practice. So what shall you do? All through the life will go on and not see anything, experience anything? Ramakrishna said, is it a no? But one must be up and doing in the beginning. You cannot sleep. Less sleep, okay, do japa. The body tells me to sleep. No, I'll get up. At the beginning. And it's very important. It's very, for us, all of us, it's very inspirational. After that, one need not work hard. The helmsman stands up and clutches the rudder firmly as long as the boat is passing through waves, storms, high winds, or around the curves of a river. But he relaxes after steering through them. Have you seen in a river, if you have driven any time, when it is winding, the helmsman is very attentive and holding the rudder this way, that way, that way, that way, focused. And when that curvy trail of the river is over, stretch comes, then what they do? Not in this country, in India, they have hubble bubble with them, and smoke is there. So they prepare on smoke and put the hand on the rudder and smoke, hubble bubble, and enjoy. So to enjoy the hubble bubble, but they have to work hard to cross the hurdles of life, our angularities of mind, our mischievous mind. It teaches so many wrong things. And it will come in a good garb. It's for you're good. But it is actually cheating me. That's why we need the reading of these scriptures. And then, when those mental thoughts and ideas will be straight, God realization is the goal. And I have called my angularities of the mind is lessened and it has become straightened. Then you can relax a little. But before that, work hard. That's why we find in the life, that's why Ramakrishna's life is itself an example. We cannot think of that. There is too much in a high degree of intensity which we cannot conceive of. But even the Ramakrishna's disciples, their austerities, their practices, their wandering days in the going from one part of India to other part, meaning no other support. What does it mean? Wandering monk means what? No support, but only God. Walk some distance, go from one place to the another place, sit there, meditate, pray for little food, go for begging somewhere. Come, where will you stay? Under the sky. Stay in a there may be some temple corridor, lie down there. Or you can go in the open garden or anyone's outdoor building. So just you do not know where tonight you will stay. What you will eat, you do not know. But you are walking. Why they are walking? Not get attached to anything. At the beginning, these are very important. Don't get attached to anything. That's why wandering monks for the first time is the principle of monasticism in India. Why? You don't stay more than 3 days there because you will get attached to those people, acquaintance will come, you will make friendship with you, your time will go on gossiping with them or talking with them, even good things you do, but your time is valuable. So you will bake little food, go to some temple and sit there, meditate, and as the minimum needs of the body, afterwards utilize your time. You don't know anybody, so you have no commitment to anyone. And go from one place to another. This order has been established, at least the same purpose. It is to stay with the similar-minded people, those who have one goal. All of us, those who are a monastery and our devotees, have the goal, God realization. So it is an atmosphere is there. That's a new way of leading the monasticism. It is what is not very common in India. It is the contribution of Buddhism as also the contribution of afterwards Swami Vivekananda. In Hinduism, there is this. It is a great change. There are Shankaracharyas, Mathai, and but they are wandering monks. They come here, stay for a few days, and run away another place. Constantly there is a place to stay, but not the same people. But here we stay together, we chant together, we pray together. So these are the atmosphere is helpful. So this is the idea that one should be non-attached. Don't get attached to anything in the beginning stage. But when you are matured, then you will be the source of joy to others. You will meet people. But if you start towards the beginning, that you may be swayed away. So that's why necessary to have some discipline, some rigid discipline, monastic discipline. So after that, or in a household also, their life should be some discipline. Whom to talk with, how much time to spend with all these things, how much time you can squeeze for your spiritual practice also. In the beginning, spiritual practice is separate, as I said, and work is separate, because how much we say, we know I am working hard. People get bored. I work so much and see I cannot do anymore. No. And others are not doing anything and they are running away and I am working too much. That means work sense has entered into our brain so much. To change that, it needs rigorous practice. So that is the part of spiritual life. So like the boatman carries that, we should be when the life's journey is going through different road, no? It is not straight and it is not giving me direct joy of serving God, feeling like that. Till I reach that point, straight road, you see that I am serving God. If that work is worship, work as worship, work and worship, as worship, is worship. When it becomes is, then it is easy. Is. When it is ease, it is ease. So that is the point. So we have to work hard till then. As soon as the boat passes the curves and hills, and the helmsman feels a favorable wind, he sits comfortably and just touches the rudder. Next he prepares to unfurl the sail and gets ready for a smoke. Yeah, another part, to unfurl the sail. Now God's grace will carry the boat. You have surrendered totally, and then you unfurl the sail, and that catches the grace of God. So after that you can relax, meaning have no time to relax till you reach the goal. That Swami Vivekananda said, Uttishtata. Upanishad talks about that. Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prappo Varan, Nibodhata. Uttishtata, you are sleeping. Sleeping in darkness, in ignorance. Thinking this world is all, this is good, bad, this, that. You are all living in another level. Uttishtata, wake up and see, open your eyes. Jagrato, awakened. Uttishta Jagrata, and move on till the goal is reached. What is the goal? Goal of seeing work as is God. Work is worship. Work is worship. Every breath becomes for the good of others. There is all ego, all other ignorance driven out. Till then, you feel that experience, till then, go on doing your sadhana. Don't stop. Unfurl the sail, and then God's grace will then, rest of the life will be, it's called the pension. In spiritual life, pension. Pension means they will always live in joy. Whatever happens to the body, they are not concerned about it. They are always remaining in the moje. Deho jane, dukkho jane. Hari Maharaj, Turiyananda said, let the body and the suffering have their deal within themselves. Your mind, you remain in joy. You are a child of God, or God is taking care of you. So, free. So it can be done by the devotees, it can be done, but there is a condition, but that rigorous practice is necessary. Very sincere yearning is there necessary. So this is to be focused upon. Likewise, the aspirant enjoys peace and calm after passing the waves and storms of lust and greed or gold. He has coined the whole world in two words, lust and greed. If lust and greed is taken out, what remains? All good. So this is a very important point, the formula. The whole world is running, whatever language you put it, in whatever field you are working. If it is not God, the goal, it is lust and it is gold. Money and enjoyment, sensate enjoyment, and which does not give peace. But for peace, we have to follow that path, and that should be rigorously practiced and constantly holding on to that. Some are born with the characteristics of a yogi, but they too should be careful. You think, I am a yogi, my mind is very high, in a high level. No, it drifts in a split second. Mind is this is the nature of the mind. To keep the mind in a lofty level is a matter of, not a matter of joke. And you don't be proud that I have done something, now I am safe. Never safe unless you see God face to face. So that is a beautiful instruction, Sri Ramakrishna. How he is talking about the intense practice. Some are born with characteristics, it is true. Some of our devotees or sadhus are born from the childhood, they are meditating, they are praying, they are chanting the mantras. We can find in some devotees' home, we find that their children are so imbued into spirituality, which we had practiced maybe when we were 20s or 30s, no? But they are doing from their early childhood. They have their yogic quality from the past birth. But they should also be careful. There is the danger is still there until you reach the vision or experience. It makes them, if the lust and greed alone, that is the obstacle, it makes them deviate from the path of yoga and drags them into the worldliness. Perhaps they have some desire for enjoyment. After fulfilling their desire, they again direct their minds to God and thus recover the former state of mind fit for the practice of yoga. Even the yogis, if they have some desire inside, so they go through the experience of life again. And that's why, as I say every time, the Indian society is very clear on this point, that God realization is to be done by following the 4 stages of life: student life, married life, retired life, and then monastic life, monk's life. That means renunciation starting at the beginning. When you are a student, you focus on your studies and your mind is in a different level. Then you enter into the world, have whatever leftover desire is there, see that, fulfill that, experience that, and then mature yourself, and then detach again, retire from the world, and then go to the 4th state when you are only you and God. So this practice is to be, but it should be very sincerely followed. So, with fulfilling the desire, they again direct there. When it is done, then their mind becomes satisfied, and then they move on. Desire will not satisfy the mind. But because of the previous serious practices, and in this life's little experience, that takes them to the higher direction. Have you ever seen the spring trap for fish called Satka Call? It's a very difficult to make you understand. The fish trap, there is a fish trap. The water flows this direction, the fish runs against the current. So they put the trap in such a way the fish enters into the trap, but there is a way to come out, but it feels comfortable inside the trap and remains caught there. And naturally the fisherman comes and pulls that trap and makes its business or whatever. So we are trapped into that fish trap, They use in our part of the country, Ramakrishna is saying this fish trap is used in the country, means in Kamarpukur area. One end of a bamboo pole is fastened in the ground and the other is bent over a catch. From this end, a line with a hook hangs over the water with the bait, this is another, the bait tied to the hook. When the fish swallows the bait, suddenly the bamboo jumps up and regains its upright position. So that is the way, that means the fish is trapped with the bait hanging from a rod, like a fishing rod. And when the fish eats that, and then it springs up and the fish is brought to the ground. Again, take a pair of scales, for example. If a weight is placed on one side, the lower needle moves away from the upper one. The lower needle is the mind, the upper one is God. The meeting of two is yoga. Given it's a scale. 2 scales are there, one right, one left. So it becomes like this either, or it becomes like that. But at this, when this is yoga, means perfect. The 2 scales. That means God, God. One is world, one is God. And now the world is going away, God is coming in both scales. So when it is in equal, he is giving some example. That means mind should be lifted to God consciousness, and then will come the joy. Unless the mind becomes steady, there cannot be yoga. It is the wind of worldliness that always disturbs the mind. which may be likened to the candle flame. If the flame does not move at all, then one is said to have attained yoga. That's why it is said, nivato deepa shikhavat. Deepa shikha, the shikha means this flame, unflickering flame. And the Gita says that when your mind will be like unflickering lamp, no movement, and then you know that you are establishing yourself in yoga. When it is flickering, our mind is always flickering. That's a spiritual mind is that when this flickering, this ripples, reduces, and becomes perfectly calm. Lust and gold alone is the obstacle to yoga. Always analyze what you see. But it is only sometimes. So this is the attitude to know that everything, what is the obstacle in our spiritual life? Very simple. Obstacle in spiritual life is this lust and greed. And who is free from lust and greed? That person is free from all bondage, all suffering. So, therefore, we should be very doing up and doing about our spiritual practice now. So, I think we can end here. Hey, did you eat? Okay. So, we have any question has come? Or we can have some question, few minutes. Main point is today's reading is very emphasizing on the point that the spiritual life depends on our hard work. And to keep the mind in God, not doing good work for the society is the end of spiritual life. It makes a progress from selfishness to unselfishness. That's a good thing. But unselfishness is not enough satisfaction comes which the God realization can give. God realization is the goal, and that for that reason one should be up and doing in your sadhana. How long sadhana? How long spiritual practice? Whole life? No. Ramakrishna said, so long the crookedness of the mind is there, winding road of our mind does not take us straight to the truth. So long is that you are to your buddhi, hold your helmsman with the rudder, you will be holding the boat, lifeboat, manage it in such a way that it does not get stuck to anyone, any point, and till it reaches the straight road of God realization, and then you unfurl your sail, God's grace will touch that, and the boat will run faster. You need not have to do anything. Life is all enjoyment then. That's called the point Swami Brahmananda said. What he said? That after Nirvikalpa Samadhi, spiritual life starts. We don't understand this meaning. It's a good, some nice word to hear. But after Nirvikalpa Samadhi, your spiritual life starts. What is our now? Where are we now? That means he's saying, don't get satisfied below that. Your goal should not be pulled down. It should be always high. What is high? Actually, realization of God, which is absorption, total absorption. Then you can enjoy the spiritual life. What is spiritual life? What do we enjoy? We sit for meditation, we get frustrated. That's our spiritual experience now, no? So, and then still after going in meditation, my mind gets agitated with things which I like, which dislike, all these things happen. So, this is the state of our mind, that spiritual life should be to dive deep. Yeah? And then, yes.
It's not God, it's lust and greed. Okay, that's what I heard, but I can't imagine that God is not a part of lust and greed because God is
Yeah.
So it doesn't flow the opposite way, if that makes sense. So
Oh,
I am
good question.
preparing for a trial and I'm motivated by money and a particular outcome. It is also an act of worship.
Yeah.
Can you
That,
explain that?
yeah, that is very important point. True. So we have the we live in this present context. This is God, and this is the secular work. But this secular, there is nothing secular. It is all God. But it is my intellectual understanding. I don't feel it in every pore of my body. That's the point. It comes after realization when we come back. Then this conviction will be, yes, there is no distinction between this. What you call God, there is no God, there is no lust, there is no greed. What we call lust is our craving or passion for petty things. Why it is petty? There is no petty, it is all divine, it is all Satchidananda, it is all Brahman. But because of my mind and senses and intellect and ego, so many layers this light is coming. So when it comes here, I find only a little drop of it. And that's called the lust. And that lust is actually the attraction for God only. But when it comes to the layer, it does not come to me in that form. Suppose the layers are gone. That is the same experience. Bhajanananda, Vishayananda and Brahmananda. Three anandas are there. One is Vishayananda. The ananda, the joy we get through the Vishaya, taking a ice cream in the tongue, seeing a beautiful object in the eyes, listening to a beautiful music through the ear. All the five senses, when it's gabbing, it is called Vishaya because it is coming through the senses and the sense objects, touch of the sense objects. But when it is bhajana, thinking of God, and we sing and dance in the name of God, that's also joy. But that's the enduring joy, much bigger joy, lasting joy. And then when in meditation and absorption, that is also joy. That's the higher joy. But joy is the same joy. So there is no true distinction. But it is distinction because our mind only can say that, we can intellectualize that, but I don't feel anything. But that time you will feel it, no distinction. I give you an example. There is one, this Swami Madhavananda, I cite that example now and then. Swami Madhavananda was one of our general secretary. How busy is the man? General secretary of the Ramakrishna order. He was a great scholar, very great scholars, and also very respected by the whole order. Holy Mother respected words like that. He is like a ivory gilded with gold. So such appreciation from Holy Mother, Sarvada Devi. He was one day meditating in the temple, in his room in the evening after whole day's work. And then it was all evening, and then Ramakrishna's temple Arati started. That time he started meditating. That's his routine, and goes up to 9 o'clock or something, and his light is off. And then neighboring institution, there is a educational institution where I stayed for 23 years. So some problem, serious problem has come. The head of the center wanted immediate guidance from the general secretary. But he came and saw that the door is open, but light is off, and he's meditating. So he was waiting when he will come out. And he came out as usual in his time at 9 o'clock, and then put the light, and he casually went and saluted and said, Swami, this is the problem, this is very serious. And he's seeing the seriousness of the problem, he said, why did you not call me before? Why did you delay so much? He said, I saw that you are doing on the rosary, you are doing japa, I need not disturb. Do you think this rosary and this work is different? For them it has become one. They feel it. They don't find any distinction. I saw another Swami, his name is Gitananda, he is no more. He was very much in the doing japa. he will escape. Minimum work finished, immediately he go to his room and take the rosary and start. I went one time to get some signature for some papers, and I entered into his room, And as soon as I entered, he was doing japa, touched his forehead, and left that rosary and mala and said, okay, what is the problem? Then I went and I showed him that this is the thing you have to do. And he said, okay. And he talked with me a few words, signed it. And as soon as it is finished, he took that and started doing japa. There is no distinction between this work and this worship. So it is long, long, long practice. And then thrill will come. There will be no disgust in working, and tiredness in work will go away. That's why we find that all the great Swamis whom we respect, how many hours of the day they spend in activity, it is beyond our imagination. How can they do? Whole day, Swami Gahanananda, he was the president, of course, but before that he was our big hospital center in Calcutta. He is the head, and 600-bed hospital with teacher, MDs are produced from there. They are a school of and so many big, and he built up most of the thing with collecting fund and doing this every day. Huge problematic center. But he's coming, always you see, he's smiling. And coming to eat around night, 11 o'clock, that is the time all other works are finished coming. After that he will eat, he will do his meditation and prayer little bit, as Guru has said, and then eat, and then sleep, and then get up in the early morning, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock getting up, and where is the time? Maybe going to bed at 12 o'clock maybe, 3 o'clock up. And then doing some exercise, doing japa, meditation, everything is ready. By 8 o'clock he is ready for whole day, 8 to night 12. See how a person can work so much energy and untiring. People who used to work with him, we cannot keep pace with him. So this is the thing happens, it changes.
Maharaj, in Baranagar, it seems they sing all night, japa all day. But then even Swami Brahmananda, when Prasanna Maharaj ran away, he was frustrated. He said, nothing has worked, we haven't realized God, let's go home and pray this.
And that is one period of time it may come that you are so much attraction for God realization will come. Then in our order also, these Swamis we are talking, they have in their personal life some phase. They took 2-3 months leave, went into isolation, forget about anything, stepped into 24-hour sadhana. They did it. This order has the greatness. Those who are sincerely seeking for that type, most of us are not ready. If we are not given work, our idiot mind, it will think of all nasty thoughts. So keep the mind engaged. You should keep the mind engaged. You give heavy work. Hey, study, hey, do work, go to garden, do this, do that. That helps our mind to be engaged. Otherwise, idle brain, always devil's workshop. Particularly the youthful time. So many attractions are there. So therefore, but those who are really that way, God provides them opportunity. Bhuteshananda Maharaj. Bhuteshananda Maharaj used to go and did such austerity in Rishikesh. Yeah, even people remembers now. Swami Premeshananda did some austerity in Rishikesh place. It's called Hanuman Kutia. Hanuman Kutia. It's a dilapidated house, a small thatched roof house, and they did what type of austerity, day and night, and reading scriptures, meditating and praying and japa. Nothing else, whole world is gone. So 1 year, more than one, and some long period, spend like that. Those who want that way, some people may be more of activeness, as wiping out our karma by good karma. So they take that path, but this is the holistic path is here.
But what I don't understand, Maharaj, is 4 years of that intense path, and Swamiji says, must we live with Sham because we haven't realized Ram? Like, what is their standard for God realization during that Baranagar time, and why did they feel like they didn't meet it even after 4 years of
They are world teachers, no? Their stored energy, we are all enjoying. We are enjoying good food because of them. They did all these spiritual practices for us, for the future posterity. And they are examples, and they came with Ramakrishna, the God himself. So their capabilities, as I said, someone is in Jesus Christ. They are already perfected people and again come back. So, can we compare with their intensity? One question, in the verse, Namastri Yotirajaya Vivekananda Suray, please tell me what's the meaning of the word Suray. Sura, Namastri Yotirajaya, Yoti means the sannyasi, Raja means the king of the Jyotis, Vivekananda, who is like a sun, Surya. Sura means devata, Sur means God. God, Vivekananda God, who is the king among all renunciates. I salute him. That is the meaning. Okay? Oh yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow will be class. So, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow, there will be a class up by Swami Mahajogananda, and he is doing the hymns and prayers of Sri Ramakrishna. Okay, thank you for all coming. Jai Ma, I got inspired seeing you all. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.